Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's hop right into things today as it's reported that Shadur Sanders will be visiting the Steelers tomorrow, Thursday afternoon. Shadur will be in town. His stock has taken a big hit after the pro day. A lot of GMs seeming like they don't want to put up with the hassle of Deion Sanders, his father, who's been out there on the media tours talking about Shadur. But who care about his dad? I think having Deion Sanders be a part of or just in the vicinity of the locker room could rub off on some of our guys. Uh, I, I don't have any hate for primetime. I know there's a lot of hate with him coaching in Colorado, and just media don't really give primetime the that shine in the light as I mean, that's his whole career, his whole life. The media has been on his back, but if Shadur slides from the top five, like a lot of people are projected now, to the 20s, that's a major slide. I don't know how this has happened. The pro day maybe wasn't the best, but to go from number 3 to the Giants to maybe number 21 to the Steelers in the past week, it has been crazy to watch. It's draft day rumors. It's draft rumors. Who knows, honestly? GMs could just be saying they don't know if they're going to take Sanders. It's reported that the Browns and Giants have already stated they're going to pass on Shadur. Once again, sorry about that, but once again, I don't think he's making it past the Raiders at number 7. That's the biggest if he can make it past the Raiders. Don't think it happens. But if Shadur keeps sliding, oh my lord, he would be a great fit in Pittsburgh. I would love to see that happen. And that leads me to the second part. If Shadur does slide, we gotta apply pressure to Rodgers right now. And I whisper into Aaron Rodgers' ear. I tell him that we're gonna take a quarterback in the first round if Shadur is there. And then we don't really need him anymore. Shadur can be our guy to start next year. You bring in someone like Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback, to be on the bench to maybe show Shadur the ropes. But I don't think you need Rodgers at that point anymore if Sanders does come to town. So you could start applying that pressure now on him. The rumors of us taking a late round, not a late round quarterback, but late in the first round a quarterback think you could force him into making a decision before draft time if you start telling him that. You could also say that we're going to go with Dart at 21 if he's there, or just any quarterback at 21 between Dart and Sanders if they're both there, and sign a different veteran quarterback if he doesn't sign before draft day, which I think changes it from Rodgers having all the leverage in this situation to us having all the leverage in this situation. I'm tired of the saga continuing. I'm tired of coming on here every day and talking about is Aaron Rodgers going to sign in the next week or the next day. It is rumored that he could announce later today on that Pat McAfee. He has a special show going on later today, but it's rumored he could announce there if he's going to sign with the Steelers. I don't know if that's going to happen. If it does happen, good for Rodgers. You know, he's a big media guy, loves all the attention. So that would be good for him and for the Steelers if he comes to town. He'll be our quarterback next year. But I think it's time to start applying pressure. I'm tired of us looking like weak people right now as in Pittsburgh. We're the Steelers. We are an environment you want to be in. You got to force him to want to be here. You don't like that at all. So put some pressure on Aaron Rodgers so he can make that decision before draft time. I just much prefer that than letting him decide on his own time because there is like I don't know. I just don't like the fact that it feels like we're kind of forcing him to be a Steeler. Doesn't seem like he wants to be here much. So make him make that decision soon. I'd love to see that. But let's talk about the draft a little bit. I'm put on my GM cap here to lay out a draft plan I would hope the Steelers do. This could make me look really dumb. You know, we take those risks though. But this would be my draft plan for the draft coming up here soon. In the first round, this is where you address a hole. This is where you get someone that can start day one. I don't want the first round first quarterback or any position that's gonna have to grow. So if Sanders is there, I think you take Shadur with the 21st overall pick. That addresses the quarterback hole. But if Sanders isn't there, I'm not that big of a fan of Dart. I think we'll go Milrow in the third round then would be my choice. And we'll get to that as this draft plan lays that I lay that out for you. But I'd go if Shadur's not there, you gotta look in the cornerback or the offensive line. I think you just go best possible talent there at that point, that 21. There is someone that should start on both the offensive line or cornerback position for the Steelers next year in the first round. I think that will be an easy stop. That's an easy plug and play right there. But let's move on to the third round. Third round, same thing. Whatever hole you didn't address in that first round, cornerback O line wise, I'm also going to add running back in the third round. Don't like the running back in the first round, but in the third round, I would be fine filling the hole of running back there. But if you don't take Sanders in the first round, then in this third round, I think you want to move up a little bit and secure someone like Jalen Milrow. I think he's an athletic freak. You need him on the team. I think he has one of the highest potentials to grow in the league just because of the athleticism. I think it's an athletic lead now, and at that quarterback position, you need someone that can extend plays. Shadur or Jalen Milrow does that for you. I would love to see either of those two join the team. You don't get Shadur in the first round. You go Milrow in the second round, and the third round for sure. Not the second round, my bad. But you take Milrow in the third round if he's still there. If he's not there, though, once again, a cornerback or O line, if they're not filled, you fill those. I do like the third round running back option though, just because I don't like Jalen Moore. There's always some sneaky talent at running back in those later rounds. So I'd just go best possible running back probably in the third round if you don't take a quarterback there or if you get a quarterback in the first round. Moving on to the fourth round though. This is primarily, to me, this is where you find someone that's an athletic freak that can be a package situational player his first year and maybe develop later on into his career. I think you go with an athletic freak at either running back, receiver, or cornerback here. Someone like at cornerback position, you could find someone that's kind of a good blitzer, someone that times snaps really well, kind of like that Mike Hilton build that we had a couple years back. Someone like that could be useful to the defense just for some extra pass rush every now and then. But then at running back and wide receiver, I'd go either a physical monster at the running back position just so you can have that power back filled up. And then wide receiver, I always like drafting someone that's super speedy at wide receiver. You could do that in the fourth round, take a flyer there, and just see how that develops. You can run jet sweeps with him, someone that is just very good with the ball in their hands. I think wide receiver position's always deep. You can find an athletic freak there. I think in the fourth round, that's what you mostly want. Someone that is an athletic freak that gives you high upside. That's what I would be looking for if I was the Steelers. And then in the fifth round, this is where I'd start looking at depth on some key positions that get hurt a lot, like offensive line, defensive line, and cornerback. Cornerback's going to be heavy in this draft for me. It all just depends on who you take in what round. But and then in the sixth and seventh, that's just best possible player available. That's what I think you do with those later rounds. You just go best available pick just to see if someone can develop into something special with a later round draft pick. But let's move on out of the draft. Let me know how you feel about that draft day plan. I'm not too sure how y'all are going to feel about it. If I laid that out clear enough to you guys, just let me know in the comments section below. But moving on, I've seen a lot of rumors about George Pickens possibly being traded near draft day or on draft day. I don't know why these rumors are floating around really because Omar Khan shut this down a couple weeks ago. Like Omar said that George Pickens is going nowhere. It's nice having two vertical threat receivers. It's a good problem to have two alpha dogs in the locker room at the receiving position. So I don't see this happening at all because Pickens, I think they're gonna try it out with DK and George to see how that does. If if they're kind of butting heads throughout the season, if George isn't being as productive in the season as we'd like to see, Possibly, I could see him getting traded at the deadline in the middle of the season, but in the offseason, I just don't see any way George isn't starting for us next year. It's just my opinion. I think Omar Khan put it out there pretty clearly that there's no chance George Pickens is going anywhere. That could have been a bluff, but just in my opinion, he's not going. We're at least going to see him for 8 weeks next year. Maybe a trade deadline move to just acquire someone else to fill a hole that we're missing, a major need in the middle of the season. Maybe someone gets hurt, you need to fill a position. You trade George Pickens, get a stud at a position that got hurt. But that has been today's episode of Steelers Latest. Let me know how y'all thought it went today in the comment section. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.